Hi guys, ghouls and little ghosties. I'm Lady Amy, and today's podcast is The Haunting of Myrtles Plantation. Located in the deep American South, where summers are warm and the air is thick with the spirits of overworked slaves and brutal masters, lies Myrtles Plantation in St. Francisville, Louisiana. With its majestic wraparound veranda, blue trim, and 20 rooms, it sits on high ground, appearing like a fortress as you approach. It appears to be something out of a storybook, however its history is not for the faint of heart. The story begins with a newly married couple, Mr. and Mrs. Clark Woodruff. Mr. Woodruff was a prestigious judge and owned numerous slaves, as was the norm at the time. One of his house slaves went by the name of Chloe, and who for many years fell victim to Woodruff's cruelty. Chloe tried to protect herself from the abuse by listening into the Woodruff's conversations and modifying her behaviour. One day, after being caught eavesdropping, Woodruff had Chloe's ears cut off, forcing her to carry the shame and disfigurement for the rest of her life. Her mutilation was hidden, at the request of the Woodruffs, by the use of a green turban. No one would see this terrifying mark, but the painful experience would stay with Chloe and inspire her to make plans for revenge. On the 9th birthday of Woodruff's daughter, Chloe placed poisonous oleander leaves into the cake. Chloe's plan was to poison Mrs. Woodruff and their children. Some sources claim that it was never her intention to kill the three family members. They suggest that Chloe wanted to get them sick so she could nurse them back to health. As in the South, local healers were among the most respected of the community. And if Chloe could heal the family, she would be safe from the harsh reality of working in the fields. Tragically, the dosage was lethal, and it ended up killing Mrs. Woodruff and her two children. After word spread of her actions on the plantation, the other slaves were the ones to take revenge. Chloe was hanged by the neck for everyone to witness until the life was drained from her body. She was then weighed down by rocks and thrown into the Mississippi River. Chloe's spirit has reportedly been spotted many times on the property over the years, with witnesses saying they have seen a woman wearing a green turban. The plantation was the site of other gruesome activities after Chloe's death. The new owner and wealthy family man and his 5 children would pass away from tuberculosis on the property. The home was later passed to one of his surviving daughters and her husband, the Winters. Mr. Winter was a proud member of his community and did his part by teaching Sunday school at his home. One day, as Mr. Winter was teaching, an unknown man rode up on horseback yelling to see him. As he came out to address this man, he was shot point blank on his front porch. He retreated into the home and staggered up the stairs to eventually die in the arms of his wife. The sound of strong and forceful stomps still linger in the home today as visitors report hearing heavy footsteps on empty staircases. The plantation went on to be used as a film set for movies like The Long Hot Summer. These visitors were not safe from having their own paranormal encounters. While filming, cast and crew members reported witnessing furniture moving around the home all of its own, and they could find nothing to explain this activity. The paranormal activity became more noticeable beginning in the 1970s, once it was purchased by the Mayers family. Multiple guests and residents reported seeing the transparent and ghostly apparitions of a young girl wearing a green turban, moving throughout the property. In 1992, the owner took a famous photo that they believe captures Chloe's spirit. This photo was intended to be used to secure an insurance policy for the home in case of fire or other natural disasters, not to prove paranormal activity. The presence of a human figure within the photo was undiscovered until it was developed. The owner reports that there was no one in that area at the time the photo was taken. One of the most disturbing paranormal reports occurs inside the home. In the grand hallway, there is an antique mirror just outside of the dining room. According to custom, mirrors are covered after death, but legend says that after the poisoning of the Woodruffs, this particular mirror was overlooked. The visitors report seeing Woodruff's children appear in the mirror near the room where they were poisoned. The uncovered mirror reportedly trapped the spirits of Sarah and her children, who occasionally seen or leave handprints in the mirror. Each time that mirror is replaced or resilvered, the same handprint reappears as if they refuse to be ignored. There are a variety of other legends surrounding the Myrtles. The house is reportedly built over an Indian burial ground, and the ghost of a young Native American woman has been reported. Also during the Civil War, the house was ransacked by Union soldiers, and legend claims that 3 were killed in the house. Supposedly, there is a blood stain in a doorway roughly the size of a human body that will not, or would not, come clean. Other legends say that cleaners have been unable to push their mop or brooms into that space. The plantation is also reportedly haunted by a young girl who died in 1868, despite being treated by local voodoo practitioners. She supposedly appears in the room in which she died and has been reported to practice voodoo on people sleeping in the room. Today this residence is known as the Myrtles Plantation Bed and Breakfast, but is also recognized as one of the most haunted houses in America, according to the National Geographic.